Velina mai kako, welcome to Keep It Aloha, a podcast that keeps aloha by chasing down criminals in Hawaii with your family. I'm your host Kamaka, and before there was the hungry Hawaiian reporting all the crimes in Hawaii, there was our guest today and her family. This one is going to bring back some memories. But before we introduce our guest, guess what? It's time for another Hawaii Theater giveaway. Every other week, we give away 2 tickets to the Hawaii Theater, and all you have to do is listen to this episode today when it comes out on Thursday, and head over to our Instagram and answer trivia on our live stream on Friday for your chance to win 2 tickets to any Hawaii Theater show. All right, let's introduce our guest. Our guest today is an entrepreneur and former television personality based here on Oahu. This former bail bondswoman and bounty hunter is known for her role on A&E TV's Dog the Bounty Hunter, in which she, along with her father Duane "Dog" Chapman, and various friends and family members, track down and capture wanted fugitives. In 2013, this mother of 2 released her autobiography, Walking on Eggshells, Discovering Strength and Courage Amid Chaos. To me, she is a part of Hawaii's television history, and I am so stoked to talk stories with her today. Her name is Lyssa Chapman Evensen. Aloha, Lyssa. Welcome to the Keep It Low podcast. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I'm so happy that you're over here at our The Kind Media studio.
Yeah, the name is super familiar.
Yeah, I forgot that until you called me outside. You're like, hey, that's just like my dad's bail bond.
Yeah, it definitely made me feel at home. Our bail bond shop was right up the street. You're right by the courthouse. So this is like our old hood right over here.
Oh, I didn't know you guys were that close.
Yeah.
So you just walked them right over,
up
yeah?
Queen Emma, yeah.
Walked him right over, gave him the cigarette, yeah?
Yeah.
That was like the classic thing. Like...
Well, you turn them in at the jail, but you get them out at the courthouse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is where we like post bonds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that was like my favorite part of the job was like being in the office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't like being out in like running and chasing people and
Absolutely
stuff like that?
not. Absolutely not. There's an episode actually where my dad is like making me bounty hunt and he's like, Lyssa, come out here. You need to do this. And I'm like totally blocking. And he looks at me and he's like, do you want to eat? And I'm just like dumb. I look at him. I'm like, Dad, we just ate. He's like, no, do you want to eat in the future? Like you have to work. But I never really, I mean, like when you get into bounty hunting, it's hard work, you know what I mean? And it's scary work. So I preferred like the office side, like getting people out, getting up at midnight, driving to Kapolei and bailing people out. Like that was more my jam. I really enjoyed that.
Okay, well, we'll get into all of it. But before we do that, I like to start at the beginning. You know how we do it in Hawaii. Where are you from? Where are you grad? And what was it like growing up?
So I'm from all over, actually. I was born in Colorado. That's like where my family's originally from. And when I was 6 years old, my dad moved us here to Oahu, and I spent a year here. And then Big Island is where I spent most of my years growing up.
You said the junk side of the island, right?
Don't start fighting words now. From Kona side, yes,
okay.
the good side.
I was right then.
Oh, ouch. But yeah, so I grew up in Kona, and we lived like in a couple different houses in Kona, but we lived all the way down Nopopo for a long time. And I grew up just really like playing in the water and being a beach baby. That was mostly my life. My dad loved Hawaii. Like when he came here, he was like one of those haole guys that comes and falls in love with Hawaii, And so he brought his whole family here. He even brought my grandparents here. And my grandma actually died. She died on Big Island. So she's buried over there. So I get to visit her whenever I go over there. So that's nice. But I grew up in Kona, then came to Alaska actually, and then back to Oahu. I actually never graduated high school, believe it or not. I graduated from the streets.
The streets.
No diploma.
Yeah, nice. And there's no YouTube University back then.
No.
You're just the streets raised you.
No, I had a baby when I was 15, bro.
Oh, that's right.
The day after my 15th birthday, and it was really hard going back to school, and it just didn't actually become a priority for me, so I didn't go back. Something I really want to do actually one day is go back and get my GED at least, you know.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, definitely. But and what was the last question?
What was it like growing up? Yeah. I can imagine it was insane.
It was crazy, yeah. I mean, my dad got famous after I became a teenager. So my years before that, like he was a bounty hunter and he was in bail bonds. So I always grew up like My dad has this really funny story where I got a sucker stuck in someone's hair, like a criminal. He had arrested someone. We would be either in the front seat or the back seat. My dad would arrest people with us because he was a full-time dad. My mom left us. So I remember like getting my sucker stuck in this guy's hair and being like, what did you do? And like, how come you're a criminal? And just being really curious of that. And it was pretty wild. And then once he became famous, it was just like a whole new world. Yeah.
So what kind of things were you into growing up?
I had a really hard childhood. For a lot of years growing up, like my dad was struggling with his addictions and his stuff. So I was kind of pushed to the side a lot. So my childhood was kind of dark, actually. I was really a loner. Growing up in Kona as a white girl was pretty hard. I had like 1 or 2 friends and that was it. And I got bullied a lot, but I always like kept really high spirits. I used to love like playing with tourists, like teaching them Hawaiian things and being like, this is the ocean and this is sand and don't turn your back on the ocean. And like, that was like a vibe for me when I was a little kid. But it was honestly super rough. Yeah, I had a really rough childhood.
Yeah.
Not the brightest of years.
Do you try to block all of that out or are you comfortable talking about it now?
I've tried blocking it all out. That doesn't work, I've been in therapy for a long time now, like over 5 years.
That's good.
And I've learned that like you are an accumulation of everything that's happened to you. So if you try to block those things out, they come up in other places of your life. So it really helps me to just be like, I had a hard childhood. And then like make sure that my kids didn't. Like that was the most important thing for me, was that I couldn't go back and change my life, but I could make sure that my children had like super awesome childhoods. And so that's what I try to do and what I do every day.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I love my kids.
Attitude.
Yeah. They're like the best thing in the world. They're like my life. Like I live and breathe for them.
Yeah, they're almost like spitting images of you.
Yeah, you think? A lot of people say that. We don't see it as much.
Okay, so you bounced all over the place and you ended up coming to Hawaii permanently when? Is that when the TV show started?
When I was 17, yeah. So my dad, funny enough, my dad sent me to my mom when I hit my period and he was like, I don't want to deal with this. And then I got pregnant and came back with the baby and I was like, you should have let me stay with you. Because look what I learned.
It's your fault, Dad.
No, but I came back and like the first episode of season 2 is called Babies Back in Town. And I knew that there was like a TV show or something, but like I didn't understand that I was like getting off the plane to cameras in my face.
Oh, really?
And I was struggling with my own addictions at that time. And I was coming from like Alaska, like poor, like not in a good place. And like cameras were in my face. It was the craziest situation ever. If you go back and watch that episode and I watch it still, I'm like, who is that person? Like she was so lost and so broken and so confused. It was a really trippy time. And like, I went from being like a teen mom crackhead overnight to being Dog the Bounty Hunter's daughter and like going to restaurants and not knowing what to order because I could not understand a freaking thing on the menu and like sharing plates with my daughter because that's how I always did it. Like I would make one big plate and they would be like, everyone looking at me funny, like, why don't you make her own? And I'm like, oh, you can do that, Like, yeah, so it was a huge culture shock for me. Wow. So something I really learned is like how to be adaptive. So whether that was from my childhood, like dealing with addict parents, or then going into Dog the Bounty Hunter and dealing with like a lot of like fancy high New York people, is to just like be adaptable. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like you had to grow up super fast and just, learn as you went. What was like the moment of your life where you're like, wow, we're kind of famous and everybody's looking at us and I have no privacy anymore?
I don't think I've ever felt that way, actually.
Oh, okay.
I think living in Hawaii, we have like this very safe place here.
That's true.
The first time I really realized how crazy things were was when we went to Vegas. Like this one time we went to Vegas with my dad and I'd never seen swarms of people like that in my life. Like here in Hawaii, like our bail bond shop was over there. So people would like gather around the shop. Like every day there'd be fans waiting for us to come out and we'd have 5 or 6 cars coming out and they'd stop and we'd do autographs. And that was like the extent of it. You go beach, people are like, hey dog, Shaka, that's it. Like people didn't really ask us for pictures. They still don't too too much. Like
Yeah,
local people don't. It's
come
more
up with their big cameras, just snapping pictures.
yeah. It's more like a handshake. People just want to say hello and talk story. You know what I mean? So then when you go to the mainland and you see the culture there and like how they treat celebrities, like that was a super shock for me. I remember Uncle Sonny Westbrook. He had to knock out like 4 guys in one night, man.
In
like,
Vegas?
In Vegas, yeah. He was our security, him and Kaleo, and they would just like, I mean, I'm not even kidding you, like knocking people out like over and over and over in one night. And it was wild.
Wow, that's
crazy. Yeah.
So how long were you on the show before you got off?
Dog the Bounty Hunter ran about 10 years. I want to say I did it like 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when we ended Dog the Bounty Hunter, I didn't go to their second show. They had another show called Dog and Beth on the Hunt that they did on CMT for 5 years. And by that point, I opened up a business in Hawaii Kai, and I was working 7 to 7 every single day.
What business was that?
I had a red light therapy salon.
Was that in Coco Marina?
It's still there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I lived on that side.
Oh,
So
you do?
I remember seeing, and there was also like was it a pizza shop or like a no?
Oh,
that merch
merchandise.
shop, yeah. Okay. Where the pizza place used to be.
Yeah, exactly,
okay, I remember
exactly.
That.
Yeah, so I opened my shop first, thank you very much, and then they decided to open in Coco Marina. But yeah, I opened that business, and then when they started doing it, and I already told you I don't like bounty hunting, and the bail bond side of it had kind of died down here in Hawaii, so I wasn't like willing to go through all that again, and I didn't do the second show, and not like they were like banging down my door like, Lyssa, do this with us either. So yeah.
Do you think the show brought you all closer, or did it kind of create more feuds? Because I it's like working with your family and friends. I could see one side it could bring you together, but you could also get frustrated with people.
Yeah.
And when it's TV, money, all of that comes into play,
Yeah. I mean, it was really hard. That's what ended up taking the show out in the end, was like money, and it was my brother Duane Lee. I'm just going to say it. It wasn't Leland. No, but it was really great working with my family. Honestly, it did bring us together, and we were already a working family. We already all worked together, and our series was a documentary series, meaning we could film in the streets, like you could film people's faces, and that could be aired on TV because we were a documentary. So that put rules on us where we weren't allowed to fake scenes. We were allowed to do something called like pickups, where you could do like voiceovers for a scene, but we weren't allowed to fake anything, or else we would lose our documentary status, and that meant that we couldn't film on the streets, and our show would be obsolete if we couldn't film on the streets. So a lot of people asked me like, was it fake and da-da-da, and it was like, no, bro, it was 100% real. Like the motto was they were flies on the wall. So if they got too close, we would be like, fly on the wall. The camera guys would be like, get away from me. Or they'd be like, say that again. And I'd be like, fly on the wall. Like, I'm not just talking into your camera, Yeah.
Wow, that's so crazy. I think it's one of the only documentary style shows that was ever big in Hawaii.
I think so.
I can't remember watching anything else like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know there was like a lot of scripted stuff, like Hawaii 5-0 was the big one.
Yeah,
back
you guys
the
had
old
a
Hawaii
cameo
5-0.
in Hawaii 5-0.
No, like the old Hawaii 5-0.
Yeah.
Like that was the only show I think they really did, but that wasn't even reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so cool to watch growing up because it was based in Hawaii, and just seeing, somewhere that you live on national TV, it's cool for us kids growing up because we don't really have many celebrities here, and people that go out and do big things, maybe until like Bruno Mars and The Rock, and it wasn't until them that they really brought the spotlight to Hawaii. So to me, growing up, it was really like Dog the Bounty Hunter, and I really can't think of anything else.
Yeah. When I first started dating my wife, I asked her, like, have you ever watched any Dog the Bounty Hunter? And she was like, when I was in college and I got homesick, I would put on Dog the Bounty Hunter because I could like feel like I was at home. And so she'd see a couple episodes and I was like, Anne, and she's like, I thought you were hot. And I'm like, yes. Square.
Yeah, and because I think it wasn't scripted, that's what people could relate to. Even like the use of the pigeon. Even Beth used pigeon every now and then,
Dude, they really feel like, now that I know and I'm older and like I see like all the cultural awareness, like I really feel like they felt like they were Hawaiian. Like I really think that they thought like best email was Dog's Hawaiian Huntress. Like it was very cute, but they really embraced the people and the culture. And like she was Auntie Beth everywhere she went, and she was a tita. I mean, like there was no. She was a tita for sure.
Well, I worked at the theater in Kokomarina for a couple of years, so I remember them coming in. Yeah, and I remember she ordered.
Got angry popcorn.
I forget. Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but I know there was a bunch of like kids and a whole crew that came, and
she used to send us down there for popcorn all the time, like just the popcorn.
Maybe I served you popcorn.
Yeah, your face does look super familiar now that you say that. I can see you in the uniform.
Yeah, the little Aloha shirt.
So cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, she got along so well with the aunties. You know what I mean? Like she would just sit down and have a good old time. And yeah, I really miss her. She's an amazing person, but she was a hard ass.
Yeah. I mean, we could kind of tell that from the show, but so I just rewatched a clip just this morning, and I forgot how many like nice moments, like heartfelt moments there were in the show. Because immediately we think of like chasing down the bad guys, but then I forgot all the moments when they're like, you guys are sitting down with the people you catch, just asking about their lives, making sure that their family's okay, offering them food, offering them help. The clip I watched was I think this you weren't in this clip, but they chased this lady down, and the son wanted to come out and say bye to the mom, and then your dad was like, oh yeah, call me after, and at the end he like gives them some odd jobs, like more to make some money. So like those moments are so cool.
That kid worked for us for like 10 years. He was a hemophiliac and he had a blood disorder.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, and so he used to keep his medicine in our shop because he had no more fridge, and he was homeless and he didn't have anywhere to keep his, he had to like keep it cold, so he would keep it in our shop so he could come every day and shoot up his meds. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So when I say like even though you and your family aren't from here, I feel like you guys are part of the Ohana. Seriously, because that's like what we would do, go around the TV and watch you guys. It's like we were part of the bounty hunter family.
Yeah, that's really sweet of you to say. I appreciate that. That's all I ever wanted. That's all the little white girl in Kona ever wanted.
You are accepted.
Thank you.
Okay, I gotta ask because this is one of my favorite episodes ever.
Okay.
South Park.
Oh my gosh, so cool, right?
You watched an episode?
Absolutely. Beth, bear mace that guy. Dude, we say that in our family like once a day. Like that line is used like all the time in our household. We're like, Beth, bear mace that guy. And her boobs, how she cannot see. Dude, that shit was hilarious.
Yeah, is it Cartman playing dog?
The hall monitor.
Oh my gosh.
So good. There's been a couple, he was on Family Guy. I'm pretty sure Simpsons, of course. But the Family Guy one was really good. But there's been so many times in pop culture I'm like watching a TV and then they'll make a Dog the Bounty Hunter reference and I'm like, holy shit. And like we'll send it back and forth to each other all the time, me and my family. I'm like, did you see this on this show? And it's like random. It happens all the time. It's pretty cool. I'm like, cool.
Yeah. Does it ever get old?
Not for me. I love it. You know what's really funny? My daughter, she's probably going to kill me for saying this, but she's 22 and she doesn't tell people who her family is. She lives in the mainland and she's on her own and she's like, I don't tell my coworkers who my family is. I just don't want people to know me as that. You know what I mean? She's like, I want people to get to know me. And then if I choose to tell them that, I want to tell them that. And I'm like, that's so crazy. Because for me, I've always like wanted people to know who like, that's my family. Like it makes me feel like I can hide a little bit of myself because I can be Dog's daughter. I can be baby Lyssa. And then Lyssa Chapman's back here. I have like armor, like social armor kind of. And I get to be, somebody else.
Yeah.
So for her, it's like a negative. But for me, it's always been a positive.
Yeah.
I really love it.
Has she watched a lot of the show?
She has. Yeah. She has. My younger daughter, Maddie, she was born on the show. So I like gave birth to her, everything on the show. Yeah. And she loves it. She watches it all the time. And I'll hear my dad's voice coming from her bedroom sometimes and it freaks me out so bad. And I can hear Beth yelling and I'm like, what did I do? Because that's my stepmom, yeah. I'm like, oh no. So yeah, they love to watch it.
Okay.
And they love their family. She just doesn't like lead with that as much as like I do.
Yeah, well, I think it's one of those things where you don't appreciate your family until you get a little older, maybe.
Yeah.
We've all been through that,
Yeah. And I think she really yearns like deep connection with people, and she's afraid of like what will happen if they just want to be like fake friends. You know what I mean?
I see, yeah.
And like I really like not artificial, but like light connections with people. Like, hi, how are you? Yeah, nice to know you. You're in my head as a friend, and that's it. You know what I mean? But she's like all about getting to know deep connections.
Oh, well, that's awesome. I love that. Okay, so once the show ended, what did you end up doing?
Okay, so the show ended and I had already started writing my book. I started writing my book about a year before the show ended. So I was like pretty much in full swing for that. I'm published through Simon & Schuster's Christian Division Howard Books. And I did a book tour for that. And then I worked really hard on my shop. It took us a year to build out my shop. We had these huge machines. We had to get all this electricity in there. And it was really, really hard. And after that, I worked at that shop every single day and gave it my heart and soul. And we were seeing 150 clients a day. Like my business was pumping. Wow. Yeah, it was really, really great. And I loved like sitting and talking with people. Like that's my favorite thing to do, is just sit and talk. So I got to like really make a separate name for myself, like outside of my family. Like people knew my family and then they knew me as a business person. I was going to like a lot of like meetings and Rotary Club things and, stuff like that. So it was really good to kind of like step out of the Dog the Bounty Hunter and just kind of be Lyssa Chapman and
create your own identity.
And then not just be like Dog's daughter, be like, that's Lyssa, and then star Dog's daughter, not that's Dog's daughter, Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what made you want to do all of that? Like write the book, take on all these entrepreneurial adventures?
No one in my family has ever really done like a conventional job. We're all kind of entrepreneurs. I never had a high school education. I didn't have a GED. There wasn't a lot of options for me. What was an option was to ride that Dog the Bounty Hunter name, into a lease with Kamehameha Estates and ride off that salary that I had.
Smart, leverage it.
And leverage everything that I had because I didn't have conventional things and make a business. Yeah. And I wanted to bring something good. Also, we had tanning beds. So Hawaii Kai's where all the white people are. And like,
know your demographic.
Know your demographic. And I used to tan and I would be there with all the Hawaii Kai moms in town. And I'm like, why is there not a tanning salon in Hawaii Kai? So we had a couple of tanning beds, but we mostly did red light therapy.
Red light's awesome. We have a little like red light thing you plug into at our house. But I always thought, because I would always go by that spot. It's on the backside, I'm almost like, why do we need a tanning spot in Hawaii where there's a lot of sun?
I know.
But so there is a need. Like there's a lot of people that still want a tan, even though.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Is it like a better tan? Does it last longer? Is it safer?
No, none of those things. You should definitely go in the sun if you can.
Don't we'll cut that out. You're gonna lose some clients.
No, it's fine. I don't own it anymore.
Oh, okay. No, never mind. Don't go. Go in the sun.
Definitely go in the sun if you can. But red light therapy is amazing. So tanning and red light therapy are two different things. You know what red light therapy is. So the tanning actually, like, who wants to be tan in Oklahoma? Like people in Hawaii want to be tan. So you'd be surprised like how many bodybuilders, how many people doing competitions, how many actors. I mean, like Miss Hawaii's, like you name it. We had people coming in to tan. We had so many people coming for that. And it's just quicker. Not a lot of people can find like 2 hours to go sit out in the sun. And we were really affordable. We made our sessions like super cheap compared to our competitors. We made everything really cheap compared to our competitors. So, and we didn't do like unlimiteds or any of that. We were just like sessions straight up. So we just kind of shook up the industry a little bit. And so it worked really well for us. Yeah, with the tanning.
Yeah, that's true. Because I always wish that, I could be tanner every time I'm like, I'm not able to go to the beach a lot. I'm just like, dang, I want to be tanner.
I used to have a lifeguard who came in and because he had such bad tan shorts.
Like the farmer tan and stuff.
So I'd be like, cover the bottom of your legs and just tan this part. Like we had a whole system worked out for him.
Yeah. Okay, I got to send some friend. I had a friend, he was just, I think he's at a kickball tournament over the past weekend, and he has like this really bad hat tan, like right on his like forehead. Those are crazy. Golfers, they get really bad tan.
Yeah,
because they're out there for hours.
Or I hear people who live west side because they're in the traffic. Yeah.
I never heard of that.
You never heard that?
Wait, would they have hats because of the
no, because of the
down.
Visor. Yeah, that's like a
that's
thing.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm anti-traffic, so I try to avoid traffic.
Same here.
Okay, so you did all those things, and then the book went well. And where is it still available? Where can people
Yeah,
get
my
it?
book,
Yeah.
you can get it on my site,
hmm
babylyssa.com, or it's on Amazon as well,
Okay.
or like pretty much any bookstore, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's just an autobiography of your entire
That
life,
was
right?
up until this point. I
Yeah.
was 23rd, so we touched lightly on like my tough childhood and things that I went through. So I really expand on that in my book, and like domestic violence and the sexual assaults I went through, and like just growing up and like everything that I went through, and my relationship with God at the time. My faith has definitely changed over the years. Being a gay woman, it's kind of hard. It's like being a vegetarian who eats meat when you're a Christian in church. But my faith with God has not changed at all. You know, it's just like that horizontal relationship. So, yeah, I wrote the book. What were we talking about?
And yeah, working it, and it's just about your life.
Yeah, no, yeah, the book is about my life, and like I said, I was only 23 at that point, so it was just like my experience in my young age.
Do you plan to write another book?
You know, the Christian company didn't reach back out to me to write another book yet. I'm still waiting. Maybe they will, but a lot of people have asked for it. Maybe.
Yeah, you could self-publish.
Could self-publish. I could
yeah.
probably publish.
Yeah,
You know, I
yeah.
probably could.
Or find a different.
Yeah, a different publisher. Yeah.
And with the AI tools now, it's crazy. I mean, shout out to you for writing a book. You know, in 2013. Now, I had a friend. He's working on some AI stuff. He wrote an entire book just from one of my podcast episodes in like couple hours.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
I did have a ghostwriter. So I had someone who like worked with me to write the book, you know, and she was really amazing. Her name was Lyssa as well. She was an amazing
So Lyssa
human.
wrote it.
Yeah, either way you look at it.
Yeah, I wanted to write a book because I did this thing in 2020 where I paid off $50,000 of student loans in 1 year just by doing odd jobs. So I wanted to write a book about that, and I was approached by some ghostwriters before to do that, but I just never pulled the trigger. But yeah, I think with AI now, I might just go that route.
Yeah. It's a lot easier than you think, you know. Once you find a publisher and you find an agent. I got an agent first, like a book agent, and then that person shopped me out to a bunch of publishers, and I actually had a bidding war on my book. So we all got on a call and they all like started naming off numbers,
wow, cool.
And it went to the highest bidder.
Wait, so do you have to write the book first, or you kind of have like an idea,
like a synopsis?
I looked this up a couple years ago when I wanted to write the book, and I forget you have to like. There's a lot of steps in it.
There is.
To me, it was kind of a lot, so I just stopped doing it.
It is. It's a lot of work. I think from like the day we actually like signed the contract and got the publisher, it took like 2.5 years to publish the book after that. Yeah. And so first you have like a proposal, like a book proposal, and you kind of go through like what each chapter would be about, and it was like about my family, my life, my platform, what I had behind me, and like what my story was about. And then depending on which publisher picked me, I kind of put my story more that way. Like since I went with a Christian publisher, I went like more lean into that. I was able to lean into that. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was a crazy process. You go through legal, they have to call people, like you get your book hacked to pieces at one point when you're doing like memoirs and stuff like that, and it was a crazy process. Like books, photos, like you have to get copyrights and all that if you're gonna put photos in your book. It's a pain in the ass.
Dang. Because you're using real names, do you have to get approval for that?
I did. So anyone that I didn't get approval from, I did change their name in the book. So there are names that are changed in the book, and then there are some that aren't.
Okay, so interesting. One of my goals this year is to write a book. So.
Yeah. I have some really good references for you if you need. We can chat after. Totally, for sure.
That'll be awesome. Okay, so after all of this, and you're doing your businesses, and then where are we at that point?
So like 2015, 2016, I went through a really bad breakup, and I had actually, like, before my wife was my wife, she was my client. She had come to do red light therapy a few times.
Nice, because she saw you on the show. Yeah, she's like, I gotta go over here. Yeah, playing the long game.
My wife and I worked in the same shopping center for like years. I never met. She worked at 24, and then I worked at
the one right by Kona.
Is that okay? Say that. Sorry. So she came to do red light eventually, and I was going through a breakup, and I knew she was gay. Not a lot of people knew I was gay at this point. I really wasn't out. And so I asked her, I was like, do you think you could like help me and give me some advice? And she did give me some advice.
Maybe a little bit more.
But yeah, so I was going through a really bad breakup, met my wife, and like when we met, so we have the same birthday.
No way.
Like the exact same birthday,
That's
same year and everything.
Same, what is it called?
It's different,
rising
actually.
and moon and all. Not
All
the same.
different. I'm really into astrology.
Yeah,
We're
my
2
girlfriend is,
hours
yeah.
apart, so it actually gives us a big
that's pretty close.
astrological break. So we're not exactly. We're actually very different.
Okay.
Astrologically.
How many smiley faces on CoStar?
Hmm?
Oh, you don't know that app, the CoStar app?
What is CoStar? My daughter has that. Yeah.
It shows like how compatible you are based on your moon sign.
I'm like astro deity. I'm like more like even in depth than that. But yeah, we met and we started dating pretty quick, and it was kind of like head over heels. Like we really fell for each other really quickly, and soon after, I moved into her property in Kaneohe. So we started dating in like August of 2016, and then I moved in with her in July of 2017.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so I was going back and forth from Hawai'i to Kaneohe, and it was just killing me. And she's done that her whole life, so I don't know how. But
I don't know how people do that.
I don't know how. But I decided to sell my business. Like I did a dream board and I was like, what do I want to do with my life? And at that point, I was so fed up with my business. Like I was so unhappy. I was in there every single day, 7 to 7. I was like, honestly, I was like sick. I was just working so much. When I went through my breakup, my business partner was also my girlfriend at the time. So we had 2 locations. We had Kailua and we had Hawai'i. So when we broke up, we kind of split the baby, and I took one location and she took the other. And I was not prepared to do all of the books. Like the financial side of that business was so much for me, like with the amount of money coming in and loans and payments and GE taxes, and also trying to make all the money and be the face of the business, and like also being the person in there physically cleaning the beds and like doing all the sales. And I was hiring people. I was using alcohol to numb my feelings. So I had like a host of things going on at that time. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell this business. And I did. And I sold it. And it changed my life, you know, just like getting out from underneath of that and being like, what do I want to be? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? And like really gave me a chance for the first time in my life to like deal with the past traumas from my childhood, to like go back and like look at my family relationships and try to heal some of those. It like gave me a chance to heal. And not everyone gets that, you know what I mean? So I'm really grateful for that opportunity that I had. But since 2018 and selling my business, I've really been on this like healing journey, just trying to have awareness. I quit drinking in 2021, June of 2021, after a couple of arrests, you know, acting a dumbass fool all over the place, you know, like white girl wasted, not fun. I was running these streets. Like I remember one time being in the alley behind ballerinas and like meeting someone we had arrested on the show, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And me and him both looked at each other and he's like, why are you here? And I was like, oh, don't ask me
that's
that.
Crazy.
But yeah, I was like out on the streets and I was running around being crazy, and this gave me a chance to like recognize that I was drinking to cover up emotions, recognize, you know, all of these things going on in my life that were not serving me, and give me a chance to like work through that. So that's the journey I've been on for a while now.
Yeah, it's so cool that you had that awareness and you took initiative to, step out of that dark time in your life.
Yeah, I mean, it's things that pop up, you know. It was like my kids and my wife and everyone in my life being like, we don't know how much more of this we can take, you know what I mean? So it was more just being like loving the people in my life enough to make a change for myself, because I did not love myself enough at that point to make that change, but I did love my family. And they were like not happy with my drinking. And I wasn't like an alcoholic, but I could go from a glass of wine to my second glass of wine and be blackout drunk. Yeah, I just got drunk.
Because you're all in or all out, that's why. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it to the best of your ability.
That's right. A lot of people on this island know it.
Okay, that was it was good. It's like you finally were able to slow down.
Exactly.
In life, because your life has been so hectic since you were born, and then the TV show, and then these businesses, and it wasn't until you're like mid-20s and you were able to like really.
And I
July,
had 2 kids through that.
Yeah,
I
and
had
doing
a
all of
marriage
that.
and a divorce
Totally,
through
yeah.
that, you know.
So many things on your
Yeah,
plate.
it was wild. It
Yeah.
was really wild. Yeah. So now I'm at a place where I can like look back and like be grateful for all of those times. I've worked through a lot of that trauma and I feel like good, you know what I mean? And when you do feel good, you kind of want to like help people, you know, you're like, hey, this worked for me. Why don't you try this? Or, you know, recognizing things where you're like, hey, I can make a difference here. Or, and also like things that I love. Cause something I hated bounty hunting. We talked about that. I wasn't so fond of the red light salon. Like now I'm getting a chance to figure out like what it is that I love and what I want to do like career wise, you know?
You feel like you're you kind of have like a restart of life, you know?
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want at this point. Now you have the freedom to choose. Nobody's telling you what to do. Nobody's like judging you for what you're gonna do. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
the
not
beauty of life.
reacting and
Yeah.
like making my own decisions.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I
Awesome.
think my dad says that like sometimes they hit the goal, you do the gun, right? And you're all at the start line. And some people get held back, you know, and he's like, some people get held and other people go. So it takes us a little bit longer to catch up, you know, but we will catch up.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes is the man who loves walking will walk further than the man who loves the destination.
Aw, I
know?
like that. I've never heard that one before. There's not a lot of quotes I haven't heard. That's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, it's all part of our life experience, you know, the good and bad and all of that. To me, it's just all lessons.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So that's cool that, you know, you've come out on top. Because, you know, a lot of people, it could go the other way. So
yeah,
you know,
I mean,
we're all proud of you, baby
time.
Lyssa.
There's still time. I don't know if I'm on top yet.
Yeah, well, I think being in nature and being in Kaneohe and, you know, being able to connect to the Aina and all of that, I think step away from everything here. I mean, you basically grew up in the city, right? With all these concrete buildings. And I think it does something to you when you're not able to, you know, touch grass once in a while. You know? So it is healing. I mean, we think about COVID, right? When nobody could go on, you know, to the beaches or the I don't know, some places, but you would see how the land would start to restore itself.
Right.
You know, so that's just like a lesson for us to, you know, take a step back, let us restore ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, slow down, and then, you know, now we can reset and, you know, have a good life.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that.
So after all of that, right now you're in your healing era.
I am.
Yeah. And do you have any other business ventures that you want to do? I know you had a t-shirt company for a little bit. Are you thinking about getting into merch or?
No, I did that. Right now I'm gonna try to be TikTok famous.
Hey.
That's my new goal. No,
well, now that it's back.
No, I just found TikTok like 2 months ago. Honestly,
you know what? Telling me about a TikTok stuff on our phone call.
I know, because I just found it.
Oh, okay. Wow. I thought you were like in it already.
Instagram has become a little dark for me. Like the comments and stuff on there, like it's pretty dark over there. It can be.
I feel that about TikTok sometimes.
Do you?
Though.
So I hear that a lot about people. Like I guess it's just like what the algorithm has done to you.
Well, for me, for example, using this podcast as an example, we have a certain demographic, you know, and for TikTok. Because the algorithm, I guess it's easier to go viral and it reaches people outside of our demographic. So if we have something about like, I don't know, say the overthrow, you know, then we have people who don't know anything about Hawaii who's like, you crybabies or like victims or all these stuff. So it's like, it could go that direction. Whereas Instagram's not as much.
Yeah. So for me, I can share like my more authentic self on TikTok. I feel like I can be more like myself. And then on Instagram, it's more like business me. Yeah.
I
like,
see that as well.
Yeah. So I just try to like put like business stuff on Instagram. Like I would like to have, I don't have a fake Insta, but I should have a Finsta, you know, to like just have my friends and family on. Because my daughter says, she's 15. She's like, I don't have any of that crap on my algorithm, you know? I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like in the future, I really have a passion for coffee. And so I really want to, we have Lion Coffee.
Shout out to our newest sponsor,
Shout out to Lion Coffee. But I really love coffee. I really loved the part of my business when I was in Hawai'i that I really loved was the connecting with people. And I love feeding people. Like I love cooking. And there's nothing like picking a vegetable or anything, you know, and then turning that into a meal. Like it's such a beautiful process, especially when you grow it and then you harvest it and then you cook it for people and you watch your family eat it, like it's a really good feeling. And I would love to figure out a way to do that. And even if it doesn't make me money, I just would love to do something that I'm passionate about for once in my life. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm really passionate about food and coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Where would you have a shop? In what location do you think?
Definitely Kaneohe.
Yeah.
I don't want to give up too much, but there's not a lot of coffee places in Kaneohe. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What about doing it right out the Lo'i?
Well, that would be nice. I want to do like a cart so I can just go anywhere. You know what
that's
I mean?
fun,
Like if we
yeah.
want to have a North Shore day, we can go and I'll work too,
Oh, that's fun,
or
yeah,
like
yeah.
wherever we want to go, we can post up and I could work if I wanted to and not if I
Coffee
didn't.
on the go.
Yeah, not if I didn't want to. Like if I don't want to go on a Tuesday, I don't have to take out my cart that day, Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, all right. So here's what my top wish would be. You open up the coffee and food place, and then second, you and your wife Lay start doing TikTok dances. That's my top 2 right there.
My daughter does TikTok dances with me. My wife will not do TikTok dances. She'll be grumpy sometimes. I'm like, can you be the grumpy husband in this video? She's like, sure.
Yeah. Oh, easy.
Awesome. I got that down. Yeah.
Or you could do one of those where you're just pranking your significant other.
I would feel so bad though. She just doesn't like it when I prank her. I love to scare people, like hide and scare people. And I'm also light on my feet. So I'm like a ninja around my house. Someone in the house gets scared by me at least once a week. Like they're so fed up with it. My daughter and my wife both. Like I'm like, bah! And they're like, oh. I swear if I die, that's why.
Yeah. You probably got pretty close where somebody was like that and had to stop, huh? Okay, let's take a quick shishi break and then we'll get into social media fan questions.
Okay,
we'll be right back.
With 0 alcohol, 0 carbs, and 0 calories. Kolea brings aloha in every bubble.
Okay, we're back from a quick shishi break. Mahalo to our drink sponsors, Kolea Sparkling Hop Water. 0 calories, 0 alcohol, and 0 carbs. We're going to send you home with a case of it.
I'm so excited to try.
Yeah, it's
Really.
good, especially as a non-alcoholic alternative.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm all about the non-alcohol things. And the kolea is my favorite bird.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got ties. You got Alaska
They go
and
to
Hawaii,
Alaska,
right?
yeah,
Perfect.
like the humpbacks.
Yeah, super cool. All right, let's get into the social media fan questions. First one comes from Sammy_Money Tarot. This person says, what was the hardest part about shooting the show?
Oh my gosh. The hardest part for me filming the show was also having like a mom life and a family life on top of that. So we started filming at 12 noon and because like criminals, like they're not out at 7 a.m., So we would start filming at 12 noon. We would do like our setup. But before that, I had like a full mom day, like get the kids to school, do the laundry, wake everybody up, you know what I mean? Like do the whole 9 yards. And then we also ran 3 businesses. We had the merchandise shop, we had the bail bonds, and then Dog Corp. So I was also best assistant. So we would run those businesses before we started filming. And then we were supposed to be in makeup and hair. I would never do makeup and hair because I hated it so much. And then we'd start shooting at noon, and then we'd go till we caught the guy. So you don't catch the guy till 3 a.m. sometimes, and then you're up the next morning. So it was definitely like keeping a normal life on top of now these cameras are invading your life, you know what I mean? And having to film and bounty hunt those days.
Is this 7 days a week?
When we shot, we would shoot 3 weeks on, 2 weeks off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was, every time. And like if someone was on the run, you had to take a call at any time from a lead. So we would all be on call all the time,
It's like working stevedores.
Yeah. If we didn't catch the guy that night, then we were all on call. If we got a call throughout the night or the next day, you know what I mean?
Wow.
We had to be ready. And
was there ever times where you're like, I can't do it. Like I'm busy, I'm sick, I'm tired.
Oh, there is no can't in my family.
Yeah.
No. We lived together for a lot of it too. So they always knew you were sick. They didn't care. Yeah.
Wow.
No.
Yeah, that does sound really intense.
There was no sick days.
Yeah. Okay. And next one comes from Hannah La Frazia. This person says, what did they not show about your brother's personal lives?
I think she has a crush on my brothers. I don't know.
Do you know who this is?
I would say Leland had a lot of girlfriends.
Maybe she was one of them.
One time I sat down at the hairdresser and she was like, I used to date your brother. And I was like, oh no, this could go really bad. It was okay, thankfully.
Okay. You still had all your hair.
Yeah. And then one of my brothers, Duane Lee, he dated someone from production for a long time. Yeah.
Okay, the tea?
So probably they were just little man whores, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, have fun when you're young.
Yeah.
Leland, does he live on the Big Island? Did I
Leland
read
owns
about that?
property on the Big Island, but his home base is Alabama now. He met
Oh, okay,
a
okay.
chick, and that's where she lives.
Okay, yeah. He was one of my favorite characters, Leland. Yeah.
He's got big ears, you know. I love him. But I
That's how
always
he got
tease
all
him.
the other girls.
No, people always come to me and they're like, "Your brother's so hot." I'm like, "Can you not? Like, that's so gross. Like, why would you come to me with that? Can you hook me up?" No, I cannot hook you up. Get away from me.
That's so funny.
So gross.
Okay, next question comes from Shiloh. A lot of I's and multiple H's. This person says likes and dislikes of being in an action show. Oh, sorry, being in action on the show.
Being likes and disliked. I guess like when you're about to hit a house, like your adrenaline is pumping. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what is going to be on the other side of that door, whether they have guns, whether they, are dangerous, whether there's children. Like you just have no idea. So like having something to do, I'm an anxious person. So having something to do with all of that adrenaline was probably a like for me because I could like get my anxiety out, and then it would be good for the rest of the day. Dislikes was I'm not a very combative person. Like if you press me the right way, I will snap, but I'm not very confrontational. I would prefer to keep things like I can get nuts, but I'd prefer not to get nuts, So I didn't like all of the screaming and yelling and all of that stuff, I prefer to like talk it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you got that titter inside of you.
I think we all do. Yeah. I mean, we can all snap a little, right? Yeah.
Okay. And then from the same person, this person says, your fave memory with Beth.
Oh, see, brought the tissue. I'm not gonna cry. I have so many amazing memories with Beth. I would say my absolute favorite memories with Beth are shopping. Beth was a shopaholic. We would spend like $5,000 at Costco. I'm not even exaggerating. And she
That
just,
return must have been nice. You get the at the end of the year.
it was
they
in
send you
my
that.
name too.
Nice.
Sometimes we went and it was my card, so I'd get the 5%
Perfect.
back. Oh, so nice. But I really miss just spending time with her. We would get in her car and she would play music really loud. And I'm going to say this, she would spark up a fat joint. And we would smoke and we'd listen to music on our way to shopping, wherever we were going. And it's just like those moments that we can never get back,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I really miss that.
Yeah, I remember going to football practices and going in with somebody's dad, the uncle's passing a joint to that little back window of the truck, that goes to the other my other teammates and stuff.
She used to love to do this thing where she had like this really blacked out Mercedes, so she'd like get it all smoky and then she'd pull up next to someone and then be like, watch this, and she'd just hit all 4 windows at the same time and let all the smoke come out, and then she'd look at the car next to her and be like, what's up? You know me, I'm Mrs. Dog. I swear she did.
That's so funny.
So funny.
I mean, once in a while, like growing up, because I never smoked, but I had friends that did, and then they'll be in a car and they're like, oh, come on, we're about to smoke, and I'll be like, roll the windows up. And I'll be like, I'll get that second hand. I don't think I ever did, but
I don't know if that. I don't know.
I don't know if that
Maybe.
ever was. But yeah, those are my cool moments.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me
You don't
of.
have to be smoked to be cool, though. We're just making that.
No, you have to. But you have to do some sort of. You have to have some sort of cool vice to be cool. Okay. Keep it a low podcast, not promoting drugs. Just putting that out there. But if you do, we support the organic ones that come from the land.
And we're here for you.
Yeah.
The kind of mailbox.
Yes. Everything in moderation. Yeah. I support people doing whatever they want as long as it's in moderation.
808 bail.
Yeah. Okay. Jen O_love says, can bring, I think it's a pigeon. Can bring dog back to Hawaii, please. Too many chronics. And then Callie Wim X says, is there any news for DTBH revival? And then Emma Lane Creason says, are you coming back for another Dog and the Hunter show?
So basically, when's the show coming
Yeah, so a
back?
bunch of people
Yeah.
exactly when if the show's gonna come back.
So I would love to do something with my family. Honestly, I really would. My dad is 72 this year. His birthday's on Sunday, actually. It's
Oh,
coming up
happy
February
birthday.
2nd.
Happy birthday, dog.
And I don't want him out there in the streets bounty hunting as much. I don't know what we would do. Like, I would love to do like a Osborne style, like
Oh,
follow
yeah,
us
yeah, yeah.
around.
Yeah.
And I would love to get my dad home, honestly. He left after Beth passed and he's remarried since, and they kind of have their own life. But every time I talk to him on the phone, I'm like sending pictures and doing everything that he did to us our whole lives. Like he is Hawai'i. Like it is a part of him and his being. And so I really miss having him here, and it's weird to be here without my family, but I really wish the show would come back. I think that there's a lot of things that have happened and changed in our lives, but it would be really, really fun. The bail industry also in this state is going crazy. Like there is so much going on. There's a lot of corruption, and the people that are doing it now aren't doing it right. And that was the situation when my dad came in the 70s and came here and realized what was going on, then came back in the 90s and just basically took over bail bonds because there is a lot of people doing things they shouldn't be doing.
Well, you heard it here first, guys. We need Dog back.
Yeah.
He's the hero that we all needed. He's like the the Avatar, the Last Airbender. You ever watched that show? There's like, and when we needed him the most, he vanished.
So going back to like, there's a lot of chronics on the street. Bail bondsmen bail out a lot of people, and there's a lot of bail bondsmen out there right now that are like not doing it the proper way. When a judge sets an amount of bail, he expects you to come up with that amount of money depending on your crime. And that amount of money is based on the type of crime that you commit. So I think the regulation that really needs to come and happen in Hawaii is those people that are letting these dangerous criminals out on the street. Because a lot of people don't think of that part. These bail bondsmen are coming in and they're writing these bonds for less than they should be, and they're letting people out. And that's a dangerous situation. And so instead of just looking at like capturing them, we have to think like, why are they even out in the first place? Yeah.
I think I remember seeing you were gonna go back into the family business.
Yeah, I had
you
my
took
bail
the test?
license.
Oh, okay.
I have my
I think I
bail
saw that on
license.
social media.
Leland and I, we were going back and forth, and he's just having a really hard time because he doesn't live here. Like I said, the industry is like completely amok right now. Everyone's out there. It's like the wild, wild west. And you have to be here. You know what I mean? And whoever comes in and does like what my dad did in the 90s is going to have to take a lot of shit. My dad went into the legislature and he changed laws. Like he lobbied, went to the legislature, told them like, the way you're doing this is not proper. Like you have to have some regulation on these bail bondsmen. And since then, a lot of these people went back and changed the laws again, and it's just like, it's wild out there. And these bondsmen are making a ton of money and they're letting a ton of people out. So that's where like it really needs to be regulated. It would be interesting to see a show where we're coming in and like
fixing everything,
fixing the bail industry.
Yeah, I support it. I'll invest in that.
Yeah, it needs to happen. If you're gonna have a system, like I understand Hawaii is like, it's not as old as other states, but you have these systems in place. And if you're going to run them, they should be ran with regulatory standards. Like you shouldn't have people out here just doing whatever the hell they want to do. You know what I mean? Because it's dangerous.
Yeah. And maybe that makes sense why we're seeing a lot more crime and, I don't know, like I swear like every week or multiple times in a week we see all these things popping up on Hawaii News Now, Hungry Hawaiian News, articles of somebody doing something crazy.
So there's this website, it's called Ikokua, okay? And you can go to it, I can go to it, anybody can go to it, and you can look up people's criminal histories in Hawaii. And you can see which bail bondsmen are most typically letting these people out. So it's all public information. So if you do just a little bit of research on like someone who's been arrested and you're like, why is this guy, he was arrested 2 weeks ago, how is he out to commit a crime? Well, you go look him up, see who bailed him out. There you go.
What's the advantage of bailing them out?
So basically, okay, we talked a little bit about bail, right?
Yeah.
So like say the judge sets your bond at $100,000.
Okay.
He knows you're going to have to come up with $100,000 or get a bondsman. And now a bondsman works for 10% of that, okay? So you pay me 10 grand. I write a check to the court for 100 grand. As long as you go to court, we're good. You don't get your money back. I keep my 10 grand. That's how I pay my bail fees. That's how I pay my office staff and all of that, okay? Now let's say you don't go to court. The court comes to me and they go, Lyssa, we're cashing that $100,000 check. And I go, I have 30 days to bring my guy in. Okay. So that's how the bail system works. Now, let's say a judge sets a $10,000 bond, but your family only has $5,000. And that bondsman goes, okay, I'll do it for $5,000. You're going to pay me $1,000 a month for the next 5 months. Now that criminal's out on the streets. See, there's no regulation for that in this state.
It's just about making money.
You can take
now.
as low as 4%. So then you call the next bondsman and you go, hey, so-and-so said I could do it for $5,000. Will you go down to $4,500? Sure, I'll go down to $4,500. There is, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And that's how, so the criminals really have, or not all of them are criminals. You know, that's the point of bail. You are innocent until proven guilty, and you shouldn't be held in a jail without being found guilty of something. So that's where bail bonds comes in. There's a fiduciary responsibility that you will come to court. Okay. So I got a little lost.
No, this is really interesting. I don't know anything about this.
But yeah, so when the people that are calling, it's like, say you want to get your car worked on and you're calling a mechanic going, well, so-and-so will do it for this much, so-and-so will do it for that much. You know what I mean? Like, you're obviously getting junk people because you're going to get a junk mechanic by the guy who will do it the least amount of money. And then guess what? Let's say you don't make a payment, you do something that pisses that bondsman off, we have full discretion of putting you back in jail when you're out on bond with us. You can step the wrong way and we'll put you back in jail because that's my 100 grand walking around. You know what I mean? So let's say that they do something they don't like, you're back in jail. But guess what? You're still paying that bill. Even though you didn't pay the whole 10 grand up front, you still have that $5,000 bill that you're going to pay me even though your ass is sitting in jail.
I can see how it gets really confusing, and I guess people, anything with money involved, right? It gets tricky.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people here who are doing it that like have a lot of criminal history. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it is very suspicious.
Dang, we gotta launch an investigation into this stuff.
We need to get Isaac back in here.
Yeah, call him
That's
up
my
after this.
homie.
Yeah, you said your both your kids are friends.
His niece and my daughter are good friends.
Okay,
yeah,
super cool. Shout out.
And
to
his
Isaac.
sister's my friend.
Yeah, Isaac's super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, stay tuned. I guess maybe one day we'll see you back on.
Sorry, passionate.
Yeah, no worries. Or maybe a podcast.
Yeah, really. We could do a whole one on bail bonds.
Yeah, totally.
We'll chase them down.
Yeah. And you can film it at the Kai Media.
We have to bring your microphone and you can shove it in people's faces. Why are you doing this bond?
Okay. Novalani_808 says, what's something that you hope for this year?
Oh my gosh. Something that I hope for this year. Shoots, I don't know. Just like happy, healthy. I don't really hold a lot of expectations. When you have a lot of expectations, you tend to get disappointed a lot. So like health and having a roof over my head, food in my tummy, clothes on my back. Like honestly, like I'm a very simple girl. So I really hope that my children continue to grow and are healthy and happy, and that, you know, my family bonds continue to get stronger. Like my wishes are really not for anything materialistic or, you know, occupational, just like all definitely spiritual.
Yeah. And health. Health is well.
And health.
That's my goal this year, is just to get healthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Health is wealth.
All right. Finn_catcher says, how did you learn to have fun without drinking alcohol? I struggle with this concept. Mahalo.
Oh my gosh, you do not need alcohol to have fun at all. So, what's his name?
Finn. Oh,
Finn.
This is Wes. I know who this is.
Okay,
Wes.
So Wes, you don't need alcohol to have fun at all. Honestly, alcohol is not making you more fun. It just, your perception of yourself is better when you're drunk. I realized that I am the same silly, crazy chick that I always was, even without alcohol. Like, I didn't need alcohol. If anything, it inhibited my fun. You know, I couldn't remember things. I would say things that I didn't necessarily mean. I'd speak out. You see how sarcastic I am. Imagine me with some alcohol in me.
no.
Imagine my mouth
no.
running. You know what I mean? I'd get my ass beat sometimes. Like, honestly, I'm very grateful that I quit drinking, and you don't need it to have fun at all. Just go out and try it. You know what I mean? Go out with your friends, have a good time, try not drinking. I guarantee you will have fun.
Yeah, awesome. I think it's a mindset.
It's totally a mindset.
Yeah.
And that it's a backwards ass mindset. Like, you do not need any substances to have fun.
Yeah.
For
Well,
sure.
as somebody who's been sober, his whole life, I always thought, I save money.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste that great, but some people end up liking the taste of beer and stuff, or they have a glass of wine.
They pretend to.
Yeah, they pretend to. But I always thought, like, what's so fun about a night you can't remember?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I was
or you
in
like
college,
text your ex, or you say something.
like
you
that,
probably don't text your ex very
I
often
don't,
either, right?
I have great relationships with all my exes, but we don't talk.
You know what I mean? Like, you do so many stupid things. And like we were talking about my daughter, who's a 15-year-old right now, and she's kind of experimenting with her friends who are drinking and smoking and stuff, and just watching her explore that lifestyle growing up without it. You know what I mean? And she's just like, it doesn't look fun. And like, we were at the beach over New Year's watching someone pop champagne, and they were acting really stupid. And she was like, "Mom," and I'm like, "I know." And she's like, "They think they're having fun though." And I'm like, "They do. I think they are." You know?
Yeah. Again, for me, everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Just don't go overboard.
Yeah. Not for me though.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit for me.
Yeah. Well, know yourself.
Yeah,
Also.
know yourself.
Okay. Next question comes from Wade Sternader. This person says, DC or Marvel fan? Had and still have a crush on you. Tell dog I said hello.
I am neither a DC or a Marvel fan.
She's
That's
a Lyssa Evensen fan.
Yeah.
Sorry, Wade Sternader.
Game of Thrones. Lord of the Rings.
Or Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
Except the last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the books.
Oh,
I'm a book girl.
You read both the books?
Yeah.
Oh, that's long books.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I like the shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shows are good. The books are better.
That's what I hear, but that's too long for me. Okay. I just had to put this one in. King Adam says, "Do you want a cigarette, brah?"
I vape. I'm trying to quit vaping.
Okay, yeah, boy underscore is underscore the underscore name says, "Were you ever scared?"
You know what's funny? As I don't think you are. When you are chasing someone, you know a lot about them, like pretty much everything, what type of cigarette they smoke, where they went to school, what their mama's name is. Like, I mean, and if you're really hunting someone, then you know a lot about them. So you're more excited. It's kind of like meeting someone that you've really wanted to see, you know what I mean? And like I said, with adrenaline, things tend to slow down. So even when we would hit houses with like guns and armed people, it's kind of like a doctor going into surgery. Like, you're just so focused. Yeah, you're locked in. Your adrenaline is just like at a level 10. And like I said, things really slow down and you just become like very clear-minded. So there isn't a lot of space for fear. Like, you can be afraid after. Like, one time we hit this house and I remember we found the sawed-off shotguns after and I was like, damn, that could have been bad, you know? And I was like, that's kind of scary. But no, it's not. It's not really fear, you know what I mean? It's more excitement and adrenaline and all these other things going on. Fear is like the smallest thing you feel at that moment.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think maybe you react in a certain way like that because of who your family is and what you've been around it. Because, there's the fight or flight,
Yeah.
It seems like you're more fight than flight because other people would just...
Yeah. Thank you, trauma.
Yeah. Okay. Next question comes from _.maya.rn._. This person says, "How has being the daughter of Dog the Bounty Hunter impacted your life and what have you learned?"
I've been the daughter of Dog the Bounty Hunter since the day I was born. I am a huge daddy's girl. He is my favorite person. Him and my kids, they're all tied. And my wife, sorry, babe. They're all tied for first. But being Dog the Bounty Hunter's daughter, he's just my dad. we have a really special, close bond, and I just love him so much. He's who I call for everything. If something goes wrong in my life, if something is right in my life, he's like just such an awesome human being, and he has such a big heart. And we have like political conversations because we're on like different ends, and we're able to debate things but still be family. And he's always like given me a safe place, and being his daughter has always felt really special. I've always felt like he was a superhero. He's my DC or Marvel. Like I didn't need to watch that because
DC, Duane Chapman.
Yeah.
So you're a DC fan.
Yeah, I didn't have to watch that because I literally had a superhero growing up with me every day in my house. Like, he's just a really good dad. You know, when my mom left us and he took us kids. So my mom left when I was 2. So he's all like one of the only parents I've ever known. And he's just always been amazing as a dad. Even when he was struggling and going through his addictions and at his flaws, he still tried to put his kids first. So before he's a bounty hunter, before any of those things, he's my dad.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love you, Dad.
Yeah. We love you, dog. Do you ever call him dog?
No, that would be weird.
That would be weird.
His new wife calls him dog. It's really funny. She's like, I love you, dog. It's
That's
so
my dog.
funny. I'm like, okay.
Hey, whatever floats your
We
boat.
love her too.
Yeah. I checked his Instagram and they seem like they're really happy together.
They're really happy. Yeah, he's happy, and that's all I want from him.
Okay, last one comes from Duane Hergenheim. This person says, do your tattoos have meaning to you?
My tattoos actually have meaning. So I have a Polynesian sleeve. You can't see it because I have my sweater on, but everything has meaning. So I don't know if a lot of people know that about Polynesian tattoo, but usually each symbol has some sort of meaning. It's kind of like a petroglyph in some sense. So yeah, the story on my arm is like the story of my family and my life. And, you know, I have a couple stupid ones, but I am of the generation where we get like meaningful tattoos, right?
Yeah.
Which one is the one here? This was my tattoo for Beth. So
Oh,
this
cool.
is fall down 7 times, get up 8. So there's 7 Eva birds and then arrows, and then see how it's an 8? Yeah.
I love
so
that.
it's like the down, fall down 7 times, stand up 8.
Oh, nice.
So
And
yeah.
it's like an infinity sign too. Like keep going.
To keep going forever, yeah. Because no matter what, you're always learning and growing. This is my Una Loma. This is what I quit when I quit drinking.
Nice. What is it called?
So Una Lome, this is the path to greatness, and it has lots of flaws, right? So it's not a straight line. You kind of go this way and this way.
Yeah.
So this is what I put on my hand so I wouldn't drink.
Oh,
Doesn't that
super
make
cool.
sense?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's like if you grab a drink, like that's not going to take me to the path of enlightenment through alcohol. So for me, that was my reminder, and I put that on my hand when I quit drinking.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I have a bunch of stupid ones. I have my girls' initials on my backs. And
Yeah, that was stupid. No, I'm just joking.
Sorry, girl.
I was joking.
You got me.
Oh, that's cool. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the ones that you just explained, that sounds really awesome.
Yeah.
It's very, very intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Mahalo, everybody, for the social media fan questions. Make sure you leave some for our next guest, and maybe your question will make it on the podcast. We're coming to the back end of the podcast. And before we wrap up, I just have a few more questions. And I asked all of my guests the same question about keeping it aloha. I'd like to know, in your life, how do you keep it aloha?
I think I keep it aloha by just letting everybody be themselves. You know, you just gotta let people be who they are. Sometimes you're around people who maybe you don't want to be around them, or maybe they're not your cup of tea, but the best thing to do is just smile, let people live their lives, and just accept to, you know, disagree every now and then, and try to just lead with aloha. Yeah. Even if you don't understand, you know?
Yeah.
The biggest advice I could say is just, you know, walk away if you don't agree. You know?
Yeah. I think that's the biggest problem we have in our society, is that if someone doesn't disagree with you, or they don't like the way you're living their life, it doesn't align with how they are, then they just act out. Instead of just like walking away, they have all these opinions, they have all these things that they want to tell you. I mean, that's basically social media, right?
Right. I think it's beautiful to have a lot of different opinions. I think that's what makes good conversation. If everyone thinks and dresses and looks and does everything the same
How
way,
boring
then
would that be?
that's basically North Korea, right?
Exactly. Yeah. We'll be living in a dictatorship.
You know what I mean? So I think it's good to have conversation. I think it's good to have people who challenge your views. But the most important thing is to like still love people, you know what I mean? And give people space to have their own thoughts.
Yeah. That's, if there's one thing we want to promote on this show, it's definitely that.
Yeah.
Okay, what is one thing you wish people knew about you that they don't?
I'm really short. I'm only 5 foot.
I didn't actually realize. Yeah, I did. I thought you were taller. Well, I didn't
Everyone
think you were
says
taller.
that.
I guess I didn't
You just
realize
assume,
you.
dude, I have 2-inch shoes on right now too. I am literally 5 foot nothing. Yeah, I'm very short. So when you meet me in person and you hug me, can you not put your shoulder on my armpit? Because sometimes you have BO and then it stays on my arm.
You're right in this range, yeah.
Literally. So I'm really short. Don't put your stinky BO arm on me, please.
What if
I'm down to hug.
What if they put on deodorant and they don't have BO?
That's fine.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? Like they'll grab me and then I'll feel like the wetness. I'm
Yeah.
man, all day I'm gonna
No,
smell
yeah, because
like
you're
this guy.
right in the range. Like if this is your head, like you're just like kind of headlocking you, right?
It's so funny. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah.
I'm short.
That was a good one. Okay, and what would you say you're most grateful for in life?
My children. The thing I'm most grateful for is my children, for sure. They are incredible lights in my life, and I'm just so happy I got to be the vessel in which they came into this world. Like they're incredible, and I don't know what I ever did to deserve their love. Like I am so grateful for them. Oh.
Okay, and I love to ask everybody this question too. Who's your favorite kid? Pass.
No answer. I don't have a favorite.
Just joking. Okay. All right. So if people want to get into let's say like bail. Sorry, what is like bail bonding or is that a can I say bail bonding?
Yeah, I mean there's two different businesses, right? Bail bonds and bounty hunting.
Okay,
so they're two
bail
separate
bonds
things.
and
Yeah.
bounty hunting. Like, what advice would you give them?
Check your local state, check and make sure that bail is going to be around in your state. There's a lot going on right now. There is a really big need for it, especially like good people in the industry. So like think of like policemen and firemen, and like you're providing a service, you're a public servant, you know what I mean? So if you are in that like giving back place, like that's really what type of people bail bonds industry needs. And if you're looking to be a bounty hunter, like it's a pretty easy, unregulated in a lot of states. So there's a lot of people out there willing to teach, and you can get some experience under your belt with bondsmen. So it's a pretty good industry if you want to break into it. Just make sure you have a pure heart, because we don't need any more corruption out there. You know what I mean? Like there's already so much going on. Like just make sure you have a good heart.
Don't do it for the money.
Don't do it for the money.
Okay, that's good. That's great. Okay, so what does the next 5, 10, 20, 30 years look like for you?
I have no idea,
Yeah.
and I'm so glad that I don't.
That's
I think having your whole life planned out for you it's constraining. I really want to travel. I would really love to spend like a year or two. The year I turn 40 is the same year my daughter turns 18.
Oh,
so
fun.
I'm thinking like maybe I'll spend some time traveling, and I have no idea what will come for me, but I hope it's good.
I'm sure it will be.
I hope so.
You seem like you have a great attitude.
Yeah.
You're good spirits.
No
You
expectations.
have a great support system.
Thank you.
So yeah, sounds like you'll be fine. Okay, so before we wrap up, I gotta know, what is your life hack? Were you able to think of a life hack?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Share it with us. This is the time.
So my life hack is to, and I'm kind of stealing this line from somebody, but it is my life hack, and that is to seek first to understand and then to be understood. So if you're trying to get your point across, the best way to do that is to like know who you're speaking to, and also to know like what drives them. So the best thing you can do in life is to understand the person and then seek to be understood. So for me, that really works. Whenever I encounter new people, even like today, you know what I mean? Just kind of understand people, what works for them, and then try to get your point across, Don't try to come in guns blazing and have this idea that you're going to like impound in someone's head. If you want to have like critical thinking and like challenge someone's ideas, first understand where they're coming from. Yeah. And that's like a huge life hack because you will get so much further.
Yeah, great advice. I think most problems in life are from misunderstanding.
Yeah.
That's all it ever is. You know, fights in relationships, feuds with family, friends, you know, everything.
And everyone's going through something. Like everyone's fighting a battle that you know nothing about. And when you think of that, like when you're in traffic, like this morning I got into a traffic spit, you know, like someone's yelling at me, I'm yelling back, and I'm like, wow, this is just so not who I am as a person. You know what I mean? Like if I met this person at a barbecue, we'd probably be friends, you know? So it's always really, really good to just try to lead with your heart.
Lead with your heart, lead with aloha.
Yeah.
Okay, I got my last fast fave 5 questions. These are just rapid fire answers, okay? And then we'll get you out here. I think
we're
perfect
good.
timing. Yep, perfect. Okay. All right. Favorite travel destination?
Costa Rica.
Oh, nice.
You can only stay places I've been, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, I guess this for
Costa Rica, 100%.
For my own curiosity, where would you like to go?
Oh, I really want to do a full Europe tour.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I want to do like 30 days. Yeah. From Prague to Italy.
Nice. Or they have cruises too. And you just stop off in all the ports. Cool. Okay, favorite Hawaii snack?
Oh, lihimoe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know the one with the candy on the outside? I don't know what that's called. Like the green tea with the lihimoe inside. I will eat those until my mouth bleeds.
I know.
I don't know what it's like. Green tea, hard candy.
Yeah. No, but sometimes it like starts to cut the
it does. Yeah. I will eat those till my mouth. Like if there's a bag, I have to hide it from myself. Yeah.
I really want to do this thing where I just document me trying lihimoe with things for like couple months straight. Just like every day there's something new at lihimoe.
Do it.
Like lihimoe with soup, lihimoe with rice, lihimoe with bean.
Bretman did that with coconut water.
He did
remember?
That?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
With coconut, he was like did all these different coconut waters.
I'm gonna do that one day.
Lihimoe of the day.
Lihimoe of the day. Okay, favorite guilty pleasure.
Oh, reality TV, 100%. Oh my God, I'm a reality TV whore. I love like Vanderpump Rules.
Oh, okay.
I love like Bravo shows. Like I love the drama. I love
Desperate
the
Housewives.
drama.
That stuff.
I haven't because I know I'll be so obsessed. So I haven't broken into the Housewives world. Luckily, there's a lot of trashy TV out there. But like dating shows, Love Island.
All that stuff.
I'm a Love Island.
The only people I know from Love Island are the people that go on the challenge. You know that because I
we love
the challenge. Oh, really?
We love the challenge.
Yeah, the new season starts today. Or tomorrow.
We're like 2 behind actually because we don't have more cable.
Oh, okay.
So we have to wait till it hits.
Yeah. We just the last season just ended, but I watch that religiously. That's the only one I watch. Yeah.
CT.
Yeah, we love CT.
Homie.
Yep. But Jordan's man, he's killing
Him
it.
and Tori.
Yeah,
they broke up.
Yep.
Sad.
But they're still cool.
Yeah.
Okay, favorite way to recharge?
I really like to watch reality TV when I recharge. I know it sounds stupid, but my favorite way to recharge is to put myself into like a TV show and not think about my own life. And that way I can I hit pause and I'm just like in something else. I also, you know, the usual go beach and hike and work out. But honestly, if I'm super stressed out, the place you'll find me is in front of a TV completely zoned out.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Truth. I just gave you straight truth.
Yeah.
I could have said something.
That's what I like to every now and then. You know, you have busy seasons or like, you know, you have a busy week. And at some point you just want to watch TV all day.
Yeah. When we were growing up, they said it would have brought our brains. So that's what I'm going for when I watch.
Trying to get that brain rot.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Favorite moment on Dog the Bounty Hunter?
Oh my gosh. I have so many. Like I got married, I got arrested, I got divorced. I mean, my episode where I got arrested was really pivotal for me. I know it sounds like it wouldn't be a favorite, but for me it really is because when I look back at that person, I'm like, honey, it's gonna be okay. Like you're gonna make it through all of this, you're gonna have a life, you know. That was like so heavy for me. You know what I mean? Like getting arrested and all that. And it was like kind of like a label put on me. Like dog's daughter got arrested and that was it. Like I could own a business and have all this stuff and do anything I wanted. But that's what defined me for a lot of people because they watch it on TV. So for me, now I was able to turn that episode around to something else that really empowers me.
And now it doesn't define you.
And now it doesn't define me,
That's
and
awesome.
it makes me stronger.
I love that. All right. Well, that's all we have for you today. Mahalo so much for stopping by
Thank
our
you.
studio, sharing your whole life story, bringing your amazing wife to talk stories as well.
Yes.
You want to pop in?
You want to come say hi?
Pop in right before we go.
Come say hi. Come give me a kiss, dear.
Lyssa, yeah, kiss, 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 kiss.
Kiss, kiss.
Woo! Say the camera.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So do you have anything you want to share before we wrap up? If not, tell us where we can find you.
You can find me on all my socials. I'm like Miss Lyssa C. Just search up Baby Lyssa.
Yeah.
Like there'll be like 50 imposters, and then I'm somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I just am really honored that you had me here. Like, thank you so much for having me. I think this is such a privilege, and I'm just so stoked to be here. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about what I do is that I get to talk with really cool people and, reach out to people that, I've watched play sports my whole life. I watched on TV, the news, reality TV, and then I get to learn more about their lives,
Yeah.
I feel so blessed that I get to do this.
Yeah, and we're blessed to be here with you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, mahalo, Lyssa, for joining us on the Keep It Aloha podcast. Spread love, be kind to one another, and mahalo for listening to us today. We have new episodes every Thursday, so make sure you follow us and leave a review. I'm your host, Kamaka, and remember to always keep it aloha.